God, I hope so. Huh? How? Damn. Asshole. Oh, this OST is fire. Oh, that's dope. Yo, I got goosebumps. Holy shit. I'll be yours. Aww. Ooh, oh, that's a cool shot. What would you do if you were a middle schooler in charge of investigating supernatural phenomena? We're going to talk about all that and more in today's reaction and review of Recommendation from Iwamoto-Senpai. Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome to me. My name is Mark, and today, if you want to see the reaction to the actual episode itself and the preview wasn't enough, make sure you check out our Patreon in the description down below. The link will take you directly to the post. Become a member, check it out, and come back here for the review, or watch the review and then go see the reaction. You won't want to miss it. But as always, if you're new here, strap in. If you've been here before, you know what to do. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, grab your notebooks, and let's talk about the episode because I took quite a bit of notes. Now, also like and subscribe. Now, I will say off the bat, this show is a sleeper hit. This could be a sleeper hit of the season. I'm certain of it. There might even be one or two more that are sleeper hits, but like this is like the sleeper hit of the season. If you do not check this out, I'll be very disappointed in you. Seriously, check it out. It's like 20 something minutes long and that's it. Check it out. Tell me what you think of it. If you don't even have to watch the reaction, just go check this episode out. It's such an interesting show already off the bat. Now, this starts out with us learning about a school that is an institution for collecting and researching supernatural phenomena with military application. It is the Imperial Army Seihon Middle School. And that's a mouthful, man. And also, keyword here, middle school. So, the main character off the bat, most of these characters do not look like middle schoolers. They don't act like middle schoolers, they don't look like middle schoolers. I'm starting to think that they don't know what a middle school is supposed to actually be. But they do not look or sound like middle schoolers. But also, what I like about this is that it's different from usual stuff involving investigating supernatural phenomena, because this is directly connected to the military and like investigating supernatural phenomena with military application. I think that's a cool spin on the classic supernatural investigation like organization, and also the fact that it's like military and government funded and all that. I just think this is a really cool way to do it, because not every day you see like a show very much like military adjacent or military focused. Like there are some shows, but nothing that involves like the supernatural like this. And so I just think that's really cool. We also learn that our main character, Iwamoto, his name is Iwamoto Dono. Well, actually, technically they said Iwamoto Kodo Dono. I'm not sure if Kodo is like first name, last name, or if that's like an honorific to go along with Dono. But like, Iwamoto Dono. And so he's on the job to investigate I almost said black smoke again. Black snow. And so that's what this episode is all about. The black snow. The mysterious black snow. And so with that said, before we get into the rest of the episode, we do get the OP. And the OP was such a vibe, bro. It was so catchy, so fun. If I could guarantee like some kind of like views on the OP reaction, I would upload the reaction. I'd figure out a way to do it, because it was so good. I was vibing the whole time, like, oh yeah, hell yeah, bro. And not to mention, the character designs are so unique, and I love almost all the character designs we've seen so far, and not a single one of them looks like a middle schooler, which is just, it's like, it doesn't actually matter at the end of the day. It's just really funny to me how they specify middle school. Like it's one thing if we just like assume that they're teenagers, like they never specify their middle school just like in school. That's one thing, because there's no expectation there. But there's an expectation now of it being middle school. And like one show, for example, that does that is like Kill Blue. I reacted to it on Patreon last season, and like it's in middle school. We see they act like middle schoolers. Like it's just funny to me, honestly. But yeah, the OP was such a vibe. Highly recommend it. It's easily an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. The character designs look cool as well. They're bright and unique. I love all of them, man, so far. And so now, the actual episode is titled Black Snow. But and also the episodes are not called episodes technically within the show. They're called reports, which that's cool. But now he's at a village and he's asking around for where the black snow would be. And the girl that he asks, she doesn't know what he's talking about. And so he's like, was that such an odd question? And it kind of was an odd question to ask where the black snow is. When I think of black snow, I think of like ash falling from the sky. I don't know why. But like that's what I think of when I think of black snow. I think of like ash falling from the sky. But not even they figured they thought that either. And so, but what the girl does do is she says that there's a really nice view at the flower garden, big place. And it is a nice area. Although the flowers are kind of covered in snow, which is interesting. And eventually, Iwamoto, he falls through the floor, through the hole, and lands somewhere. And damn, that's gotta hurt, though. And he also is hurt. But as he's, like, fading out of consciousness, like, as his consciousness fades, he sees a blurry, almost like he might think it's imaginary, but he sees a blurry image view of a pink-haired person. Now, I know better because I've been around for a while now watching anime, man. I know better than to assume gender. But while I didn't assume the gender, I did have a, like, suspicion that it might be a girl. A brief suspicion, but actually turns out it's not. At least according to Iwamoto, it's not. And they have very bright pink hair. And he's also hoping that this is like an hallucination scene, that person. And like, actually that's valid, because how the fuck do you explain... Well, at the time I was like, how the fuck do you explain a random pink-haired person just being there in front of you like that after you fall conveniently? Like, now we know why, but at the time I was like, yeah, how do you explain that? I kind of hope it's a fake. But eventually though, he passes out, and when he wakes up, he's all bandaged up and he feels no pain. And he's then met by Yakudo sama, who apologizes for the hole, and he's the head of Aonuma Pharmaceuticals and like the most important man in the village. And so that's cool. And yeah. And so he knows why he's here now, to like investigate this black snow. And so yeah, they move on. But before they move on, before before Yakudo and Iwamoto go their separate ways, Yakudo's like, yo, your school accepts recommendations. I'd hope our village can maintain a good relationship with your school. And so here's the interesting thing about this school, is that the Army Middle School only accepts students with recommendations from a teacher or a current student, which is so fascinating to me. But that, and again, this part also makes it really weird that it's a middle school. Because, like, why would you trust a middle school? Typically, why would you trust a middle schooler to recommend a student to this kind of army mid school? But also, this definitely gives, like, students a more prominent, like, voice as well, which is fascinating to me. So, as we learn, the drug is very, very potent that they have. They have a drug, and the drug in question is used to help ease the pain. That's what Iwamoto assumes at first is what's used, because so Yakudo, he's like rubbing this like medicine on people, getting rid of their pain almost instantaneously, and like he's erasing their memories of pain. And Yakudo's really questioning all this. Not Yakudo. I keep getting Yakudo and Iwamoto mixed up. Iwamoto is questioning this because that's weird. How? Sort of thing. But then we learn that Yakudo wants it to be used, this drug to be used for the country's future. And I mean, fair enough. He's a patriot. Fair enough. And so I keep saying Yakudo, bro. It rolls off the tongue better for me. Like Yakudo compared to Iwamoto. But Iwamoto is walking outside once again, and he finds a kind of dungeon cave thing, which I'm pretty sure it's the thing that he fell through, maybe? And he goes down it because of course he does. When it could be dangerous, but he doesn't care. He goes down there hoping that the pink-haired guy is there. And he's pretty sure it's a guy. I'm not sure why he knows it's a guy, but he's pretty sure it's a guy. And lo and behold, he finds the guy. And the guy, really nice, honestly. I love his hair, though. Honestly, his hair is really great. Love it, honestly. How he maintains it, I have no idea. But, really nice hair. Meanwhile, we get to learn that, he's ill. And he's also the one who actually healed Iwamoto. And on top of that, Iwamoto asks why the person is being kept down there. And I wrote down originally that Yakudo is sketchy as fuck because he comes down here and he's like, you must be feeling ill. Don't get close. The closer you get, the more ill you feel, sort of thing. And so, and I almost said Yakudo again. Iwamoto, he leaves and he's like, he's not feeling well. But before that, we see a little conversation between, what's his name? Yakudo and the pink-haired guy. And the pink-haired guy, his duty, we learn that his duty is to remain isolated and be useful to the village. And that gives such a darker tone to everything. And so the kid's just like, yes, sir, you got it, yeah, sort of thing. Like, he's definitely like not happy per se, but I don't think he's scared either, which is interesting. But at the same time, moving on, Iwamoto, he's feeling like shit the farther he gets into the flower field area. And as he's like feeling bad, now he's not feeling good at all, bro. Like, everything's on fire. It's just a bad time for him. And so now when he looks up, he sees the black snow. And I gotta say, the OST during the black snow falling down, fire. It was such a good OST, bro. Love that so much, man. And so Iwamoto has an epiphany of some kind. And the epiphany, we're about to see that. But first, we cut to another scene of Iwamoto running. He's being chased by some villagers, and they're trying to dispose of him now. And he says they're trying to dispose of him because he knows their secret. And their secret is that the drug is made from Pink Hair's body. And I wrote down that's fucked. Because it is, man. And so Yakudo, he tries to, defend it. And he says, that's his grandson. And his grandson's name is Shizuma. Shizuma. That's the boy's name. And Yakudo says that's his grandson. And says that he won't kill them as long as Iwamoto leaves him alone. Leaves his grandson alone. And like what the fuck? And apparently also Shizuma desires this. That's what he wants. He wants to be confined. He entered confinement of his own will because his curse killed his parents, and now he's like, yo, I don't want anyone else to get hurt. And so I also wrote down the question of, after Yakudo has said that he entered of his own will, did he also decide that he wants to have drugs made from his body as well of his own will? And turns out he apparently did, I think. I'm still a little lost on if that was actually his idea or not. But turns out he did. Spoiler, I guess. But now, we're back to the dungeon. Apparently, Iwamoto escaped. And Iwamoto now has a conversation with Shizuma. And Shizuma, he knows what Iwamoto wants, why he's there. He's there to take him to the school, because the school, so that the army can research his body, which, not surprising. And what's it? Where is it? Oh, right here. Okay. And so, more conversation, a little bit more of a conversation ensues, but then basically, Iwamoto wants Shizuma to come to the school, but I think Shizuma's kind of afraid to, because like he's been isolated for so long and he doesn't want to kill everyone else, which is that's valid, honestly. And but before anything else can happen, some villagers shoot a warning shot at him, cuts his face, and hits the wall. Which honestly, if you ask me, I think that's kind of impressive. I genuinely think that's kind of impressive how they didn't just miss. They missed on purpose. They caught his skin with the bullet. So this random NPC villager has that good of aim. It's just funny to me. Unless it was pure luck, but even then, luck is a skill. So he's gotta be pretty lucky in life. And but they said that they owe Shizuma a lot and they don't want him leaving. They want him to continue blooming the flowers that he produces. And yeah, they basically just want to keep using his flowers. That's all they care about, really, it seems like. And I'm trying to figure out where I am now. And so Iwamoto, he's not giving up without a fight, bro. He's like, yo, I still want you to come with me. We have a lot in common, it appears. And then he says, Iwamoto says that Shizuma reminds him of how he used to be, and that's fascinating. That implies that whatever his power was, which turns out to be some kind of fire power, I guess, it like also caused problems for him in the past. And so he like feels sympathy for Shizuma, who's in a similar boat. Which damn, man. And so Iwamoto is like, I'm gonna borrow your flowers. And so he says bloom, crescent, cremated spider lily. That's what he says. And then he sends out a cremated spider lily that just sets fire to every flower. And then the flower field. And Shizuma says that Iwamoto wants him to learn alongside others like him, because Iwamoto's like, yo, there are others out there with your illness, your curse, and some of them are unique and strange, and you're not alone, basically. And I think that's really cool. We got a little glimpse at some of the characters as well that have like the strange or like unique powers, and so I'm very interested to see what those are too. And yeah, moving on. And so everything wraps up like that. After all said and done, everything wraps up, and Iwamoto's on a train at some point, but before that, he sends a letter of recommendation to the principal, who I assume is the principal. I actually have no idea if it's the principal. I just assume, because Iwamoto's role is like chief secretary, I just assume this dude's the principal. And this principal, or teacher at least, like head teacher, something like that, his name is Kitsujo Sensei. And bro is majestic, man. So majestic. But the letter of recommendation asks for Shizuma to be under Iwamoto's guidance, and that if anything goes wrong, he'll handle it. And I believe him. And so, also the principal has angel wings, which dope, man. Majestic, as I said, full design, majestic. And also, the principal sends a letter in response that says sending Iwamoto was a mistake. Which, that's not something you want to hear after a job well done, supposedly. Because it turns out, Iwamoto tends to over-empathize with certain superpowered individuals, which, not surprising, based on the fact that he said that Shizuma reminds him of him. But at the same time, that's cool. I like when there are characters like this that over-emphasize with certain people. I just think it's fun. But instead of just saying no or whatever, the principal's just like, I washed my hands of this, good luck convincing the students. And so Iwamoto's like, I see what you did, but you dropped the pretense. And he's like, I was gonna take care of, look after him anyways. So, fair enough. Meanwhile, now he gets off the train, and there is Shizuma in a really interesting attire, like a veil of some kind, and I like the attire. Surprise! It actually fits very well with his vibe. And Shizuma not only has a very thorough attire, but he also has requests about like eating, like when they eat, to eat away from people. They don't want to be around a lot of people, stuff like that. But before he can continue, Iwamoto's like, I think you'll come to see that I'm an old hand at handling odd ducks, which that's funny. That is funny. And so while he goes away, while Shizuma goes onto the train, he calls Iwamoto-Senpai, which is cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. At some point, he also said that he wanted him to come to his school with the recommendation back in the cave, and he was like, "And I'll be your senpai." Forgot to mention that, but that was really cool to see. I'm glad that he does like take responsibility. I appreciate that he does take responsibility for like Shizuma. But anyways, he has a conversation with the grandpa Yakudo, and turns out, at least according to Iwamoto, he suspects that Yakudo wanted this to happen. And Yakudo's like, are you really surprised that a grandfather doesn't want to see his grandson suffering alone for everyone else's sake? And yeah, Iwamoto's also like, he might have been the one to spread the black snow rumors, which, not surprising. And like as I said earlier, everything like earlier on, the conversation between him and Shizuma, Yakudo and Shizuma, that gave a darker tone than to how it appears to actually be. It's still kind of dark in a way, but like it's not as dark. I'm still not sure of how I feel about the grandfather, but I do think he's earned a lot of points back in my book. I hated him once we learned, but turns out he was kind of right. And so that's cool. And finally, we get some information about the school. And this year, there are 44 students enrolled at the Army's Seiho Middle School. Which, damn, that's a lot of people with powers, bro. Or not a lot, depending on how many people in the world have powers. And that's just Seiho, the Seiho Middle School. I assume there's like a high school, another middle school, another high school in different places. So this is just this specific school, I guess. And apparently, he unfortunately can still see the black snow. Which kind of sucks, if you ask me. But at the same time, hey, that adds some spice to what he sees in his day-to-day life. So it could be worse. It could probably be worse. He could be seeing like dead bodies everywhere. He's actually probably seen a bunch of dead bodies, if we're being honest here. But also, he wonders if this is just a part of his life now, or if it's only temporary. And honestly, I have no idea. I would not be surprised if it was temporary or part of his life for good. I do think it'd be cool if that was actually like a consistent part of his life. And it probably will be, because he'll probably be around Shizumo quite a bit. So like, yeah. And then he also says that this might be the start of a long relationship with Shizuma. Yeah, it probably will be. And then finally we go to the ED. And the ED was fine, it was catchy. It was not as much of a vibe as the OP. I didn't hate it, but I'm probably, unless it's like the season finale or whatever, I'm probably not going to listen to the ED. The OP, yeah, I'll let that play out whenever I'm reacting to it, but the ED, nah, probably not, personally. Like, it's not bad. It's just not, I won't go out of my way to listen to it. And like, if I happen to hear it, I'll probably skip it, but like, maybe not. It just depends. It's not bad. It's not great either. But with that said, that is my thoughts. That's my review. That's the recap of this episode of Iwamoto, recommendation from Iwamoto-Senpai. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Seriously, I am very curious what your thoughts are on this. If you're familiar with the source material, let me know. If it's as good, if it's like if the anime, this episode is like good, comparable to the manga. If you're familiar with it. If you're not, cool. Welcome to the journey. I hope you'll stick around. And as always, the Patreon's down below for the reaction, so go check it out there. And yeah, like and subscribe, ding that notification bell, hype the video on the YouTube mobile app. And with that said, until next time, my name is Mark. Never stop being yourself, stay safe out there, and I will see all you incredible people in the very next video.